Through the years, most of our beloved actors, celebrities, musicians have called Los Angeles their home. We've seen these beloved celebrities through thick and thin, scandals, and of course their crowning achievements. I'd love to think that one would be these beautiful homes and some of the most prestigious zip codes in the world. I've actually spent days trying to figure out the houses on the Grand Theft Auto Online map and figure out the owners. But I believe when the game was designed, I'm quite sure, like the cars, they altered them just enough to differ from their real-life counterparts. Plus, the map is a version of LA that is compressed and renamed to match more of the fictional town than the actual town it's standing in for. The material girl herself, Madonna, once owned the beautiful Castillo del Lago estate in the Hollywood Hills. Built in 1926 by John Delario, it was reported that Bugsy Siegel used to run a gambling den in the 30s. The house was perfect as it had lookout towers and where he could post guards to keep an eye out for the police in case they were deciding to raid it. Later on, when Madonna bought the house, she contracted her brother to renovate the beautiful home to her taste. She recently listed this home for $23 million. You might recognize this house in the game as Minnie Madrazo's house, where you would make the drop after the Cayo Perico heist. The great Elvis Presley owned a very similar house to this one. Of course, he had homes pretty much all over the United States and the world. Ironically, this house resembles his Graceland home in Tennessee, where his memory stays alive. Jimmy Stewart was an American icon with over 80 movies to his name from 1935 to 1991. His career was legendary, and he resided in a home similar to this for the first 50 years. Charlton Heston was one of our greatest American actors. He was also a political activist, but he gained stardom for his leading man and roles in numerous Hollywood films, including biblical epic science fiction films such as Planet of the Apes. I included this house as it favors the former Heston house. It's not 100%, even though both these homes do share the same amenities. Like I mentioned earlier, some of these houses were hard to identify with whoever has owned the houses in real time. But a lot of these houses are just beautiful to look at if you think of the architecture and everything involved. And, the history that's behind each of these walls. The stunning views, the elaborate comfort, tranquility, and peace away from the grind of a fast-paced city. The Griffith Observatory, 3,015 acres of land, was donated by Griffith J. Griffith. He included funds to build the observatory. He wanted astronomy made available to the public and free to use. The observatory opened in 1935. First week it saw more than 13,000 visitors. During World War II, the planetarium was used to train pilots in celestial navigation. Again, the same in the 60s to train the Apollo astronauts for the first lunar landing. We have seen many great films have been shot there as well, such as The Terminator, Back to the Future, Dragnet, Transformers, La La Land, and many, many, many more. The Forest Lawn Cemeteries. The Forest Lawn was founded in 1906 by Dr. Hubert Eaton. He believed that most cemeteries were unsightly stone yards. He designed the Forest Lawn to be a beautiful final resting place with towering trees, sweeping lawns, splashing fountains, noble architecture, and beautiful statues. And many of the biggest names in cinematic history are laid here to rest. You can actually look at their website and it'll give you a list of all the great stars and celebrities that are laid to rest there. Oh, yes, the Riot House. I looked at the map, and this structure was probably the closest. It looked so much like the actual building, with a few differences, of course. But this building started out as the Hotel Continental by Gene Autry in 1963. In 1966, it was renamed the Continental Hyatt House and earned the nickname the Riot House due to the excessive partying of its flashy clientele. Jim Morrison of the Doors was evicted because he was caught hanging off a balcony, just being held up by his fingertips. Led Zeppelin would commandeer the entire 11th floor, hurling beer bottles and furniture out the window, sometimes aiming for the neighboring billboard. Keith Richards from the Rolling Stone was reported, or actually saw in a documentary, he threw a TV set from the 10th floor balcony. Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses used to grill steaks on the balcony and set off the fire alarms. And then when the firefighters would come up to report the fire alarms, he would throw steaks at them. It became the Hyatt on Sunset in 1976, the Hyatt West in 1997, and now since 2009 it's called the Andaz of West Hollywood. Promises Treatment Centers is a for-profit provider for residential drug and alcohol rehabilitation. It started out with facilities in Malibu and West Los Angeles. However, they filed for bankruptcy in 2018, and the California locations have since been closed, but it's been home to some of the greatest stars looking for rehab or help with any of their chemical or alcohol dependencies. The Orpheum Theater opened its doors on February 15th of 1926 as the fourth and final LA venue for the Orpheum vaudeville circuit. It was renovated in 1989. Many great acts were seen there. The burlesque queen herself, Sally Rand, the Marx Brothers, Will Rogers, Judy Garland, Jack Benny, and vaudeville acts were performing at the Orpheum as late as the 1950s. The theater hosted rock concerts like Little Richard, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonder, and there's been a lot of great movies that were shot here as well, such as Last Action Hero, Spider-Man 3, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and the Transformers. Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, named after President Teddy Roosevelt, was built in 1926 and financed by Louis B. Mayer, Mary Pickford, Douglas Fairbanks, and Sid Grauman. The hotel went into decline in the 50s. In 1989, the Radisson bought the hotel and put millions of dollars into renovating it. In 1984, the hotel was added to the Register of Historic Places. In May 16, 1929, this hotel saw the first Academy Award, not yet called the Oscars, which was hosted by Douglas Fairbanks. I Love Lucy used the pool. Fabulous Baker Boys was also filmed there. Oh, and this video game came out years ago called Grand Theft Auto 5. They used the hotel. They renamed it Von Krassenburg as a parody to the Hilton line. Shutters on the Beach opened in 1993 with 198 rooms and a very popular dining spots. Notable celebrities such as Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Dave Chappelle, and many, many more have been spotted dining at this hotel. It was also used in the movie Something's Gotta Give with Diane Keaton and Keanu Reeves. The Hotel Casa del Mar, a historic, luxurious hotel located on Santa Monica Beach, built in 1926 by brothers Jack Harder and Till Harder to reflect Italian Renaissance revival aesthetics. In 1941, the Navy took over the building, using it for enlisted soldiers during World War II. And then, later on, became a drug rehab facility in 1967. And in 1978, the building became the Pritik Longevity Center, a nutritional and health care facility. It closed its doors in 1997. Edward Thomas Hospitality Corporation, who owns Shutters on the Beach, restored this building into what it is today. And thanks again, guys, for playing along. This has been fun, showing the history of LA through Grand Theft Auto Online's Los Santos map. Later.